G'day everyone, welcome to Fiesta Adventures. Today I am at Pinnacles National Park up on the High Peaks Trail. We hope to see some condors up here. Now, if you don't know what condors are, they're a very large bird with a wingspan up to 9.5 feet. They look like basically like a huge vulture. They are able to soar via thermal currents, thermal winds up to 15,000 feet, and they roost down here at the lower portions of the pinnacles, and then they go catch the morning thermals, fly up very high, and then drift out toward the coast, do their feeding out there. And then they tend to come back here to the pinnacles and soar around these high peaks at the summit of the pinnacles. So what you've got is like this incredibly beautiful spot and where you can observe these majestic birds. So we're up here today and we're going to try to see a few of them. Now, to get up here, it's about a 3-mile strenuous hike, and we came up the High Peaks Trail from the Gulch staging area. The trail climbs up. It's a beautiful hike up and through the trees and beautiful rocks and switchbacks. And then when you get up high, you end up on these stairs that are carved in the rocks. And I think these were done back in the 1930s by the Conservation Corps. They don't do stuff like that these days. So it's really fun. There are these rock stairs with steel pipe railings. And it's actually, even if you don't see the condors, it's an amazing hike. So let's see if we can go find some condors to look at. We walk along this beautiful trail. Now might be a good time for me to remind you that if you do like the video, please do subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and also let me know what you think in the comments. And if you do subscribe, tell me you subscribe. Just say I subscribe in the comments, and I'll write back to you. And thank you. All right, so the condor spotting today has been a little bit of a bust. There is one. That is not one that flew through the frame, but there is one on that very outer pinnacle roosting there, and then there's another one that's up a little higher. Okay, so here's condor number 3 that we've seen. Number 36 orange, I believe. And he's perched there. Really beautiful spot. Now you notice that his head isn't bold on this one. The head is dark, and I believe that would be a juvenile bird. So, but we can look him up by his color and number on the website, which I will provide in the description below. And you can look up this bird and learn all about it, when it was born, where it was born, and a little bit about its personality, I think. All right, so here's condor number 4. He's just over my shoulder right here, sitting on that rock, and he's actually really close. Okay, just a minute ago, another condor showed up and joined this one here. You can see him on the left. And because these have black heads, I believe that they are both juveniles. But again, we can look up the numbers later and figure out how old they are. Now, All right, so it turned out to be not a bad day for condor sighting. We saw four. We saw the two adults up on the pinnacles near the top, and then we saw the two juveniles, one at a time at first, and then the other one came over and started playing with the first one. And that was a pretty nice close-up we saw. So no condors in flight, but we still had some good sightings. Now, we are now heading down what is called the Condor Gulch Trail, and we're going to head back to the parking area, which is down that way right there, I think. We've got about 1.7 miles to go, and it's dusk now. I'm going to give you a couple tips on condor sighting. So, well, first of all, most people hike up this trail, the Condor Gulch Trail, because it's just right next to the parking lot. It's easy, but we decided to go the Moses Springs High Peaks route and then just make a loop. So you can do it in either way. It doesn't really matter. So as far as when to see the condors, their typically daily pattern is they roost down at lower elevations to stay a little warmer in the trees. And then they wait until the thermal winds start, and then they glide up to a high elevation. Then they go to wherever their feeding ground. Sometimes they go up towards Big Sur, some go north, and anyway, just to find dead critters to feed on. And then in the afternoon, they come back up here, and they usually roost up at the high peaks up there. Last time I was here, they were soaring around, but this time that wasn't happening. And I think that's because of perhaps the overcast has created a situation where there isn't any thermal winds happening. So they tend to the ones we saw were just roosting up high, and I think they'll just wait there until dusk and then just float down to their roosting area and stay there. So the tip is, a lot of people come up here and hike up here first thing in the morning. They don't see condors, and the reason is because they're off to their feeding grounds. So if you want to see the condors, the best thing to do is to cruise up here in the afternoon, catch them, and then just have a nice hike down during the dusk hour. I also wanted to mention that the hike today, if you go up the way we did in either direction, the Moses Springs High Peaks Trail and Condor Gulch, is a total of about 6 miles. It's fairly strenuous, a good amount of climbing, and then there's those narrow step kind of things that we went through that are actually really fun, but they're not, I wouldn't call them technical, but they do require a little bit of fitness to do okay on. So anyway, it's not a difficult hike, but it's a really beautiful hike. I mean, even if you don't see the condors, it's a pretty nice hike, just on the merits of the really nice terrain and beautiful rocks of the pinnacles and formations. So it's not just about the condors. It's just a really nice hike. So don't be too disappointed if you don't see the condors. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today. If you like the video, please do like and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching.